Based on your perceptions on the importance of life, which part of this picture suggests the importance, if any, of any life form? How do you quantify the value of life? Are the leaves more important than the buds? How about the stems on which the flower depends? How about the flower itself? How important, then, are the insects to the flowers? And, depending on the degree of clarity you can perceive, is the small ant more important than the big ant? How about the fly? Is the fly really that important? How do you quantify life forms? Are you more important than your neighbor? Why? Once upon a time, many years ago, my ex-wife and I were invited to a party. She was a bit reluctant to go, but got dressed and we went anyway. On the way to the party, she turned to me and she said, "Maybe you are not being invited, but what the host wants is what you can do for him." Needless to say, my ego would not hear of it. Of course, I am being invited for me. When we got to the party, the very first question asked by the host was, "Did you bring your camera?" My wife looked at me, no words needed, and together we left. Ego. Many people stay in jobs because their egos are being stroked. They're being exploited, being manipulated. Give them a title, and the employer need never pay them overtime. With their title, they then become a salaried employee, and no overtime is paid. Ego. I recently went to a festival. It cost me about 10 hours of work making a video and about $40, which I could hardly afford. In turn, I was given a vague title and food. I was aware of the manipulation, but I wanted to relish the moment. After all, lessons learned are never lessons wasted. Ego. One of the things I do as a part of how I am perceived is to retrieve the refuse receptacles from the curb. I am paid to do that. I do that cheerfully and without murmur because that is what I am paid to do. It is, according to the people who pay me, what I am perceived to be capable of. I have offered my services in other areas, but them, not being able to see me in any other role, decline my skills and offers. I keep doing this on a weekly basis for 3 reasons. Number 1, it checks my ego and places me in a position of reality. That is, I am to them what they perceive, which has nothing to do with me and who I really am. Number 2, it is a weekly sermon on humility. Humility, when truly appreciated, protects from the downfall of ill-conceived false ego. And 3, as a matter of integrity, I say that I would, and I'm a person of my word. Their concept of me, as limited as it is, has nothing to do with me and my abilities. What I could be doing, I am not doing because of their perception, not my reality. Ego. It is an interesting aspect of life and living. We all need egos to accomplish what we do, but I have found it is important to put ego in its place. I learned a lot about that from the wisdom of Sirach. You should be reading the wisdom of Sirach. Thanks for listening, of course, but as I said earlier, you must think for yourself.